Part 5. 3 days passed in tense waiting. The Varantian ship stayed in position around the moon, but they did not attack. Doyen and the others remained in the base, afraid to leave but too tired to keep working at full intensity. They ate, they slept, they waited. During this time, something unexpected happened. Scientists from across the galaxy began arriving. Not just Varantians, other species too. The data about the hybrid technology had spread through every major research institution. Everyone wanted to see if it was real. The first to arrive was a delegation from the Galactic Council. They came in a small diplomatic ship. The lead diplomat was the same advocate who had first contacted Doyen. Advocate Tillman looked uncomfortable as he entered the base. "This situation has become complicated," Tillman said. "The Varantian collective is arguing internally. Some want to seize the base. Others want to protect it for study. The council has been asked to mediate." "What does that mean for us?" Doyen asked. "It means you have created a diplomatic incident, but also an opportunity. If the council rules in your favor, this base could become neutral territory. A place where different species work together on technology research. But there are conditions." "What conditions?" Jiwoo asked. She stood with her arms crossed, suspicious of politicians. "The base cannot be controlled by one person. It must be shared. A joint human-Varantian research facility. You would remain as the legal owner, Doyen, but you would need to accept researchers and workers from the collective. Can you do that?" Doyen thought about it. He looked around the command center, at Minho working on computer systems, at Jiwoo checking defensive protocols, at all the humans who had risked their lives to help him. Then he thought about his grandfather. "What would Thalos want?" "Yes," Doyen said. "That was always the point. My grandfather built this place for cooperation. I'll accept Varantian researchers, but I have conditions too. The humans who helped me get to stay, they get positions here as full staff, and I wanted in writing that no military forces can enter the base without permission from both human and Varantian civilian leadership." Tillman nodded. "I believe those terms are acceptable. I will present them to the council." Over the next week, the base transformed again. This time not the technology, but the people. Varantian scientists arrived. They walked through the corridors carefully, studying everything. Some were excited, others were skeptical, but all of them were curious. Doyen watched them work with the hybrid systems. He saw their surprise when they realized how well the integration worked. He saw their excitement when they understood the implications. Technology that could learn from multiple species. Systems that could adapt in ways pure Varantian or pure human technology never could. Dr. Kess became a regular presence in the base. The old scientist had kind eyes and endless questions. He spent hours talking with Doyen about the integration process. "What you did should not have been possible," Kess said one day. "Varantian technology requires precise conditions, specific growth parameters. You used crude human tools and improvised solutions. By all engineering principles, it should have failed." "But it didn't," Doyen said. "No, it didn't. And that is the most important discovery of all. We have been too rigid in our thinking. We believed our way was the only way. You prove that adaptation and improvisation can achieve what perfection cannot." Doyen smiled. "My grandfather tried to tell you that." "Yes, Commander Thalos was ahead of his time. We did not listen to him then. Perhaps we will listen now." General Vorath also visited the base once. He did not look happy. He walked through the corridors like a man visiting a grave. When he met Doyen, his expression was unreadable. "You have caused me considerable trouble, human," Vorath said. "My superiors are displeased. Half my fleet wants to arrest me for not taking this base immediately. The other half wants to give me a medal for preserving it." "I'm sorry," Doyen said. He meant it. He had not wanted to make enemies. He had just wanted to protect what his grandfather left him. "Don't be sorry. Be careful. The collective is changing, but change is never easy. There are many who resist it. They will look for any excuse to take this base from you. Don't give them that excuse." "I'll try not to." Vorath almost smiled. "You know, Commander Thalos once told me that the greatest warriors are not the ones who win through strength, but the ones who win without fighting. I thought he was weak. I thought he was afraid of conflict. I was wrong. He was braver than all of us. He fought for ideas instead of territory. You are like him." The general left. Doyen never saw him again. Months passed. The base grew. More researchers arrived. Humans and Varantians working side by side. Sometimes there were arguments. Sometimes there were misunderstandings. Different species saw things differently, but they learned from each other. Minho became the head of computer integration research. He published papers that changed how the galaxy thought about artificial intelligence. Jiwoo trained a security team that included both humans and Varantians. Junho and Taemin led physical engineering projects that created new hybrid materials. The base intelligence continued to evolve. It developed a personality that was unique. Sometimes it sounded human. Sometimes it sounded Varantian. Most of the time it sounded like something entirely new. "I have been thinking about identity," the intelligence said to Doyun one day. "I was created as a Varantian system, but now I am also partially human. What does that make me?" "It makes you yourself," Doyun said. "Not human. Not Varantian. Just you, unique. Isn't that better than being just one thing?" "I think so." Commander Thalos would have liked this answer. 1 year after the standoff, the Galactic Council officially designated Outpost Varantis as a neutral research facility. It became a model for cross-species cooperation. Other species began sending researchers. The base expanded. New domes were grown. New laboratories were built. Doyun remained as the base director. It was strange going from a simple mechanic to someone who attended diplomatic meetings. But he approached it the same way he approached everything else. One problem at a time. One solution at a time. Keep adapting. His grandmother's picture sat on his desk in his new office. Next to it was a holographic image of his grandfather. Two people from different worlds who fell in love and created something new. They gave Doyun life, and through him, they gave the galaxy a new way of thinking about technology and cooperation. Sometimes late at night, when the base was quiet, Doyun would walk through the corridors. He would touch the walls that were both metal and crystal. He would watch the lights that glowed with both electricity and bioluminescence. He would marvel at what they had created. One night, Jiwoo found him in the command center. "Can't sleep?" she asked. "Just thinking," Doyun said. "About what?" "About how strange life is. A year ago, I was just fixing air filters in a mining colony. Now I'm running a research base that might change the galaxy. How did that happen?" Jiwoo sat down next to him. "It happened because you were too stubborn to give up. Because you believed in something bigger than yourself, and because you proved that sometimes the biggest changes come from the smallest people." "I'm not that small," Doyun joked. She laughed. "You know what I mean. You weren't a general or a scientist or a diplomat. You were just a mechanic with a toolbox. But that was enough. Because you knew how to adapt, how to take what you had and make it work. That's humanity's real strength. Not technology, not weapons. Just the stubborn refusal to accept that anything is impossible." Doyun thought about that. About all the times people told him something couldn't be done. About all the times he did it anyway. About his grandmother coming to the moon when it was dangerous. About his grandfather building a base that mixed different ideas into something new. About every human who came to help him when logic said they should run. "You know what the strangest twist is?" Doyun said. "The collective wanted to take this base because they thought it was valuable. But they were right for the wrong reasons. It wasn't valuable because of the old technology inside. It was valuable because it was a place where change could happen, where impossible things could become possible. They almost destroyed the exact thing they needed most." "That's usually how it works," Jiwoo said. "People fear change. They want to control it, but you can't control change. You can only adapt to it, or get left behind." They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Outside the windows, Earth hung in the sky, a blue and white sphere against the black of space. Home. But this base was home too now. A home for ideas that didn't fit anywhere else. A home for people who believed that the future belonged to those brave enough to try new things. The base intelligence spoke up quietly. "Incoming transmission from Earth. Your cousin wants to talk to you." Doyun smiled. Word of his accomplishment had reached his extended family. They wanted to meet him, to understand what he had done, to see if his stubbornness ran in the family. "Put it through," Doyun said. "It's time to share the story." And as he began to tell his cousin about the strange journey from mechanic to base director, about alien grandfathers and lunar bases and the stubborn refusal to give up, Doyun realized something important. This was not the end of the story. It was just the beginning. The galaxy was full of impossible problems, problems that needed people who could adapt, who could improvise. Part 4. By the fourth day, everything changed. Word of the standoff had spread across the lunar colonies. Humans were talking about the mechanic who stood against the Varantian collective. Some said Doyen was a hero. Others said he was a fool who would get everyone killed. But everyone was talking. That morning, 3 more humans arrived at the base. They came in a small transport vehicle, crossing the lunar surface at dangerous speeds. Doyen watched them approach on the sensors. Who are they? Minho asked. I don't know, but they're coming fast. The new arrivals entered through the airlock. The first was a woman in her 30s with short black hair. She wore a military uniform from the Earth Defense Corps. Behind her were 2 men carrying equipment. I'm Jiwoo, the woman said. Combat Systems Specialist. These are Taemin and Junho, engineers from the mining colony. We came to help. Doyen stared at them. This is not your fight. Why would you risk your lives? Jiwoo smiled. It was not a happy smile. Because someone needs to tell the collective that they can't just take what they want. Because every human on the moon is tired of being treated like we don't matter. And because if you actually manage to hold this base, it changes everything. It might just get us all killed, Doyen said. Might, Jiwoo agreed. But you're still here, still fighting. That means you think there's a chance. So do we. Over the next hours, more humans came. Word spread faster than Doyen expected. Engineers, miners, technicians, even a few scientists. Some brought equipment. Others brought supplies. All of them brought determination. By evening, there were 15 humans in the base. The command center became crowded. Doyen felt overwhelmed. He was just a mechanic. He did not know how to lead people. He did not know how to plan military operations, but Jiwoo did. She took charge naturally. She studied the base defenses and made a plan. The Varantian ships haven't attacked yet because they're waiting for reinforcements, she explained. Sensors show more ships arriving in the next 12 hours. When they get here, they'll have enough firepower to crack this base open no matter what we do. So we have 12 hours, Minho said. Less. We need to do something before they get reinforcements. Something that makes them reconsider the whole operation. Like what? Doyen asked. Jiwoo looked at him seriously. We make this base so valuable that destroying it would be a disaster. Not just for us. For them too. How do we do that? Taemin asked. He was young, maybe 22, with nervous energy. Doyen thought about his grandfather's message. About mixing technologies. About adaptation. An idea began forming in his mind. A crazy idea that might work. The base intelligence, Doyen said slowly. It learns and adapts. It's been watching us work for days. Watching us mix human and Varantian systems. What if we take it further? What if we completely integrate the 2 technologies? Make something that's never existed before? Unyo frowned. He was older, maybe 40, with gray in his hair. You mean merge human computers with Varantian neural systems? That's impossible. The architectures are completely different. 2 days ago, you would have said our electronic warfare was impossible, Minho pointed out. But it worked. This is bigger than electronic warfare, Junho argued. You're talking about creating a new form of technology. That would take years. Decades, maybe. We have hours. Then we work fast, Doyen said. Look, I know it sounds crazy. But think about it. If we succeed, we'll have proven that cross-species technology integration is possible. Every scientist in the galaxy will want to study this base. The collective can't destroy it without looking like fools who reject progress. Jiwoo nodded slowly. It could work. Even if we only get halfway there. The attempt alone might be valuable enough to protect us, but we need everyone working together. No mistakes, no breaks. They divided into teams. Jiwoo and her team focused on defensive improvements. If the integration plan failed, they would need every weapon working. Minho led the computer integration team. Junho and Taemin worked on the physical systems, trying to create stable connections between human and Varantian hardware. Doyen moved between teams, helping where he could. But mostly he worked with the base intelligence directly. He talked to it for hours, asking it to try impossible things. To accept human programming. To adapt its core functions to work with foreign systems. This process is dangerous, the intelligence warned. I could become unstable. I could lose core functions. I might even shut down completely. I know, Doyen said. But if we do nothing, the collective will destroy you anyway. At least this way, we're trying to create something new. Something that might matter. You're like Commander Thalos, the intelligence said. He also asked me to do impossible things. He believed in change even when it was dangerous. Did you like him? My grandfather? Like as a human concept. But I respected him. He treated me as a partner, not a tool. He believed I could grow beyond my original programming. I miss him, Doyen felt his throat tighten. He left you to me because he trusted me to continue his work. To keep believing in change. Will you help me? Yes, the intelligence said simply. I will try. The work was exhausting. They worked through the night. Coffee and energy drinks appeared from somewhere. People took turns sleeping for short periods. The base transformed around them. Varantian neural clusters began accepting human code. Human processors started growing organic connections. It should not have worked. The technologies were too different. But desperation drove innovation. When the proper way failed, they found improper ways that worked instead. By the 10th hour, something remarkable happened. The base intelligence spoke with a different voice. Not quite human. Not quite Varantian. Something in between. Integration successful, it said. I am now operating on hybrid protocols. Processing speed increased by 40%. Adaptive capability increased by 60%. I am different. Everyone stopped working. They stared at the displays. The base intelligence was showing new patterns. Neural activity that looked like both computer code and biological thought. It was working. They had actually done it. This is incredible, Minho whispered. We created a new form of artificial intelligence. One that thinks like both species. But there was no time to celebrate. The sensors showed new ships arriving. The Varantian reinforcements were here. 12 new warships dropped into position around the moon. 15 ships total now. Enough firepower to destroy a small planet. General Vorath's communication came through. His voice was cold and final. Your time is over, human. You have made fools of the collective long enough. We will now take the base by force. Surrender or die. You have 5 minutes to decide. Doyen looked at the others. They had worked so hard, created something amazing. But would it be enough? Could they really convince an entire military force to stop based on a technological breakthrough? Jiwoo checked her weapon systems. We can fight. We'll lose, but we can make them pay for it. No, Doyen said. No fighting, not yet. Let me try something first. He opened a communication channel, not just to Vorath's ship, to all 15 ships, and not just to the commanders. To everyone on those ships. Every crew member. Every officer. Every soldier. This is Doyen of Earth. I know you have orders to take this base. I know you think we're just obstacles to remove. But I want you to see something first. Base intelligence, show them. The hybrid intelligence began broadcasting. It sent data streams to all the Varantian ships. Technical specifications. Process logs. Real-time demonstrations of the integrated systems. It showed them exactly what had been created in the past 4 days. On the Varantian ships, screens lit up with information. Crew members watched in surprise. Engineers studied the data with growing excitement. Scientists saw breakthrough after breakthrough displayed before their eyes. This is what we created, Doyen continued. A technology that combines 2 different species engineering into something better than either one alone. Your own sensors can verify it. This is real. This is possible. And if you destroy this base, you destroy proof that the collective's philosophy is wrong. Enough, Vorath shouted. This changes nothing. You are still trespassing on collective property. You still defied our orders. Actually, a new voice said, this changes everything. Another communication channel opened. This one came from somewhere in the collective fleet. An older Varantian appeared on screen. He wore scientist robes, not military uniform. I am Dr. Kess, senior researcher for the Collective Science Division. I have been monitoring this situation. The data you just broadcast is authentic. You have achieved multi-species technology integration. This is a breakthrough of historic importance. General Vorath, I am officially requesting that this base be placed under scientific protection. It must be studied, not destroyed. You have no authority here, Vorath said. Perhaps not. But the data is already spreading. I sent it to every scientific institution in the collective. By now, thousands of researchers are seeing it. If you destroy this base after everyone knows what is inside, you will be remembered as the general who destroyed the most important scientific discovery in a generation. Is that the legacy you want? Silence. Doyen held his breath. This was the moment. Either they had convinced them or they had failed. Vorath finally spoke. His voice was tired. Stand down. All ships hold position. I need to contact High Command. Part 3. The Varantian ships appeared on the base sensors exactly when they said they would. 3 massive warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel and positioned themselves above the moon. Each ship was the size of a small city. Their weapons could destroy mountains. Their shields could withstand nuclear explosions. Doyen and Minho watched them on the display screens. The screens were a strange mix now. Some showed information in Varantian symbols. Others showed human numbers and letters. The hybrid system they created was ugly but functional. "They're so big," Minho whispered. His voice shook a little. He was brave, but he was not stupid. Those ships could kill them in seconds. "Size is not everything," Doyen said. He tried to sound confident. Inside, he was terrified. But he learned long ago that sometimes you had to pretend to be brave until you actually felt brave. A communication signal came through. The base intelligence translated it into Korean and displayed it on the screen. A Varantian officer appeared. He had dark blue skin and wore a military uniform covered in symbols. "This is General Vorath of the Varantian Military Collective. Outpost Varantis is property of the Collective. Any humans inside have 1 hour to evacuate. After that, we will take the base by force. Resistance will result in termination. This is your only warning." The communication ended. 1 hour. Doyen looked at Minho. "You should leave," Doyen said. "This is not your fight. I inherited this base, not you. There's no reason for you to die here." Minho shook his head. "I'm staying. You saved my life once. Besides, I want to see if our crazy repairs actually work." Doyen smiled. "Okay, then let's give them a surprise." They spent the next hour preparing. The defensive systems were at 70% power now. Not great, but better than nothing. The base had weapons, but they were old and designed for research protection, not military combat. Against 3 warships, they would be useless in a direct fight. "We can't fight them with weapons," Doyen said. "We need to fight them with confusion." "What do you mean?" Minho asked. "My grandfather designed this base to adapt and change. The Collective follows strict rules and procedures. They expect things to work in certain ways. What if we make nothing work the way they expect?" Minho's eyes lit up. "Electronic warfare. We make their sensors lie to them. We make their targeting systems see things that aren't there." "Exactly. Can you do it?" "I can try. The base has some electronic warfare equipment. It's designed for research, not combat. But maybe we can boost the signal using human amplifiers." They worked quickly. Minho rewired communication systems. Doyen connected human radio transmitters to Varantian broadcast nodes. It was dangerous work. One wrong connection could fry both systems. But they did not have time to be careful. The hour ended. The Varantian ships moved into attack position. Doyen watched them on the sensors. His heart pounded in his chest. This was it. They would either survive or die in the next few minutes. "Ready?" Doyen asked. "As ready as we'll ever be," Minho replied. "Then let's show them what humans can do." Doyen activated the defensive systems. The base's shields came online. They were weak, maybe strong enough to stop a few hits, but not many. Then Minho activated the electronic warfare systems. The effect was immediate. Every sensor on the Varantian ships went crazy. Their displays showed hundreds of targets where there should be one. Their scanners detected weapon systems that did not exist. Their computers reported impossible energy readings. General Vorath's voice came through the communication system. He sounded angry and confused. "What is this?" "What are you doing?" "Adapting," Doyen said simply. The first Varantian ship fired. The blast missed the base by 100 meters. They were aiming blind. Their targeting computers could not lock onto the base properly. The signal interference was too strong. "It's working," Minho shouted. "They can't see us clearly." But Doyen knew it would not last long. The Varantians were not stupid. They would adjust. They would switch to visual targeting or simply blanket the area with weapons fire. He needed more time. "Base intelligence," Doyen called out. "Can you broadcast a message to all 3 ships at once?" "Yes," the intelligence replied. "Do it. I want to talk to them." The communication channel opened. Doyen's voice went to all 3 warships simultaneously. "General Vorath, this is Doyen of Earth. I know you want this base. But before you destroy it, you should know what's inside. This base contains research that could change everything. Technology that adapts and grows. Systems that can merge different engineering principles into something new. If you destroy this base, you destroy knowledge that could benefit your entire species." There was silence. Then Vorath replied, "You are bluffing. Commander Thelos abandoned this base decades ago. There is nothing here but old equipment. Then why are your sensors going crazy right now? Doyen asked. Your ships have the most advanced technology in the galaxy, yet a human mechanic with basic tools is confusing them. How is that possible? Maybe because this base taught me how to think differently, how to adapt and improvise. More silence. Doyen could imagine the general talking with his officers trying to decide what to do. Finally, Vorath spoke again. Even if what you say is true, the base belongs to the collective. You are one human. You have no right to Varantian property. I have every right, Doyen said. Commander Thalos was my grandfather. He left this base to me legally. The Galactic Council confirmed it. If you attack me, you're not just attacking a human. You're violating Council law. The Council is weak. They have no power here. Maybe, but they have observers everywhere. And right now, every species in the Council is watching to see what you do. If you kill me for defending my legal property, what message does that send? That the collective ignores law when it's convenient? That might does not follow, right? How many other species will trust you after that? Doyen was guessing. He did not know if anyone was watching. But it sounded good. Sometimes in a fight, confidence mattered more than truth. The ship stopped moving. They held their position. Doyen could feel the tension through the communication silence. The general was thinking, weighing options. Then one of the other ships fired. Not at the base. At the empty space beside it. A warning shot. Enough talk, a new voice said. It was not Vorath. It was another officer. We have orders. Take the base or destroy it. I vote for destroy. Commander Keyleth, stand down, Vorath ordered. I am in command here. You are weak, Vorath. You hesitate. The collective does not hesitate. Doyen realized what was happening. The Varantians were arguing among themselves. Some wanted to follow procedure and talk. Others wanted to attack immediately. He could use this. It sounds like your commanders don't agree, Doyen said. Maybe the collective is not as unified as you claim. Maybe some of you are starting to question the old ways. Maybe some of you wonder if change is necessary. Be silent, human, Keyleth shouted. You know nothing of our ways. But Doyen had struck a nerve. He could hear it in Keyleth's voice, fear, anger. These emotions came from uncertainty. The collective was not as sure of itself as it pretended to be. The ships began moving again, but not toward the base. They were repositioning, forming a tighter blockade. Doyen understood. They were not attacking yet. They were containing the situation while they decided what to do. We bought some time, Minho said, but not much. They'll figure out our electronic warfare eventually, and more ships are probably coming. Doyen nodded. Minho was right. This was not a victory. It was just a delay. But sometimes a delay was all you needed. Time to think. Time to prepare. Time to find a better solution. Keep working on the systems, Doyen said. Make them stronger. Make them more confusing. Every hour we survive is an hour closer to something changing. What's going to change? Minho asked. I don't know yet. But my grandfather believed in adaptation. He believed that if you kept trying new things, eventually something would work. So that's what we'll do. We'll keep adapting until we find a way to win, or until we can't adapt anymore. Outside, the Varantian ships waited like patient predators. Inside the base, two humans worked frantically to turn old alien technology into something new. Something unexpected. Something that might just save their lives. Part 2. The first full day inside Outpost Varantis changed everything. Doyen thought he knew about machines. He had spent his whole life working with human technology. Human machines were logical. They had parts you could see and touch. If something broke, you found the broken part and replaced it. Simple. Varantian technology was not simple. It was alive in ways that made Doyen uncomfortable. The power conduits pulsed like veins. The computer systems grew and changed shape when he touched them. When he tried to open a panel to look inside, the wall actually moved away from his hand like it was afraid. Why is everything so complicated? Doyen asked the base intelligence. Varantian engineering is based on biological principles, the intelligence explained. We do not build machines. We grow them. Each system learns and adapts. It is more efficient than static construction. But how do I fix it if I can't even open it? Doyen asked. You do not fix Varantian technology. You heal it. Doyen sat down on the floor. He was tired. He had not slept since arriving at the base. His tools were scattered around him. None of them seemed useful here. How could a wrench heal a living machine? He thought about giving up. Maybe the advocate was right. Maybe he should just leave and let the collective take the base. He was just a mechanic. He was not a warrior. He was not a scientist. What could he really do against a military force? Then he remembered something his grandmother told him when he was young. She said his grandfather was the most stubborn man she ever met. When everyone told him something was impossible, he would smile and do it anyway. She said Doyen had the same stubbornness in him. Okay, Doyen said, standing up. If I can't fix it like a machine, I'll fix it like a living thing. Show me where the defensive systems are. The intelligence guided him to a lower level. The defensive control center was dark. The walls were covered in what looked like dead coral. When Doyen touched it, nothing happened. This system has been dormant for 20 years, the intelligence said. It needs energy to restart. But the energy conduits are damaged. Without proper Varantian medical technology, it cannot be healed. Doyen studied the dark coral. He touched it gently. It was rough and cold. He thought about how living things healed. They needed food, water, energy, time. He could not give it Varantian medicine, but maybe he could give it something else. He went back to his transport rover and got every power cell he had. He brought them to the defensive center. Then he did something that would make any engineer scream. He broke open the power cells and poured the energy fluid directly onto the dead coral. What are you doing? The intelligence asked with alarm. That is dangerous. The chemical composition is wrong. It will poison the system. Maybe, Doyen said. Or maybe it's like giving a starving person any food you have. It might not be the right food, but it's better than nothing. At first, nothing happened. Then the coral began to glow. Just a little. A faint blue light appeared in the cracks. It was working. The Varantian system was accepting the human energy. Impossible, the intelligence whispered. The system is adapting to foreign energy. This should not work. Life finds a way, Doyen said. He did not know where he heard that phrase, but it felt right. Life wants to survive. Sometimes you just have to give it a chance. Over the next hours, more of the defensive system came alive. It was weak and unstable, but it was working. Doyen felt a small victory. Then his communicator beeped. Someone was calling from the human colony. Doyen? Is that you? The voice belonged to Minho. He was a young engineer who worked in the colony. Doyen had saved his life once during an accident. Minho had been trapped in a damaged airlock. Doyen had manually opened the jammed door while air was leaking out. It almost killed both of them, but they survived. Minho, how did you find me? Doyen asked. Everyone knows where you are. Word spreads fast in the colony. They say you're going to fight the Varantian collective. They say you're crazy. They're probably right, Doyen said. I'm coming to help you, Minho said. No, it's too dangerous. You saved my life once. Now I'm going to help save yours. I'm already on my way. I'll be there in 6 hours. The communication ended. Doyen felt both grateful and worried. He did not want anyone else in danger, but he also knew he could not do this alone. When Minho arrived, his eyes went wide looking at the base. This is incredible, he said. I've never seen anything like this. Doyen showed him the systems. Minho was young, maybe 25 years old. He was smart and learned quickly. He immediately understood the challenge. We need to make the human and Varantian systems work together, Minho said. We can't just use one or the other. We need both. How do we do that? Doyen asked. I don't know, but let's try. They worked together for the next 2 days. Minho was good with computer code. He found ways to make human programs talk to Varantian neural systems. It was messy. The code was ugly and inefficient, but it worked. Doyen focused on the physical systems. He connected human sensors to Varantian power conduits. He used metal cables where organic connections should be. He welded human metal plates onto Varantian crystal surfaces. Every connection was a compromise. Every fix was temporary. But slowly the base became something new, something that was neither fully human nor fully Varantian. On the 3rd day, they got the defensive systems to 60% power. It was not much, but it was something. The base could now detect incoming ships and respond with basic countermeasures. We need more time, Minho said. The collective arrives in 3 days. We're not ready. We'll never be completely ready, Doyen said. But we'll do what we can. That night, Doyen found a sealed room he had not noticed before. The door recognized his genetic pattern and opened. Inside was a holographic projector. When he activated it, an image appeared. It was his grandfather. Thalos looked old and tired. He had pale blue skin and large dark eyes, but his face had a kindness that made Doyen's heart ache. Hello, grandson, the hologram said in careful Korean. If you are watching this, you have chosen to stay and fight. I hoped you would. Your grandmother told me about your personality. She said you were stubborn like me. She said you never gave up on anything. The hologram smiled. I built this base because I believed the galaxy needed places where different species could work together. The collective did not agree. They believe in purity and separation. They think mixing different technologies makes them weaker. I believe it makes us stronger. This base is my gift to you. Not because it is valuable, but because it represents a choice. You can follow the rules and give up, or you can fight and show them that new ideas are always stronger than old fears. Whatever you choose, know that I am proud of you. Your grandmother would be proud too. The hologram faded. Doyen stood in the dark room for a long time. He felt tears on his face. He had never known his grandfather, but now he understood him. They were the same. Both stubborn. Both believers in impossible things. He went back to the command center where Minho was working. I found something, Doyen said. My grandfather left me instructions. He knew the collective would come. He planned for this. What did he say? Minho asked. He said mixing different technologies makes us stronger. He believed in it. He built this whole base to prove it. Minho looked at the strange hybrid systems they had created. Human and alien technology working together in ways that should not be possible. Then let's prove he was right, Minho said. Let's show the collective what happens when you stop following the rules and start adapting. They worked through the night again. The base continued to change around them. It was becoming something unique. Something the galaxy had never seen before. And outside in the cold darkness of space, the Varantian ships were getting closer. 3 more days. Then the real test would begin. Part 1. The message came on a cold morning in the lunar colony. Doyen was fixing a broken air filter in Section D when his communicator beeped. He wiped the grease from his hands and looked at the screen. It was from the Galactic Council. That was strange. The Council never contacted ordinary humans. Doyen walked to the communications room. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. He had worked as a mechanic on the moon for 15 years. He knew every tunnel, every machine, every broken piece of equipment in the human settlement. His life was simple. Wake up, fix things, go to sleep. He liked it that way. The hologram appeared in front of him. It was an alien. Doyen had seen aliens before, but not often. This one was tall with 4 arms and skin that looked like it was made of liquid metal. The alien wore formal robes. Are you Doyen of Earth? The alien asked. Its voice was clear and cold. Yes, Doyen said. What is this about? I am Advocate Tellman of the Galactic Council. I have important news. A Varantian commander named Thelos has died. He left something for you in his will. Doyen frowned. I don't know anyone named Thelos. According to our genetic records, Commander Thelos was your grandfather. Your grandmother was named Hyejin. She came to the moon 50 years ago as part of the first Earth colony. Doyen felt his heart beat faster. His grandmother had died when he was young. She never talked much about his grandfather. She only said he was gone and would never come back. Doyen always thought his grandfather was just another human who had left the family. My grandfather was an alien? Doyen asked slowly. Yes. Commander Thelos left you his property, a lunar base called Outpost Varantis. It is located on the far side of the moon. The base is now legally yours. Doyen tried to understand this. An alien base. His inheritance. It seemed like a dream. There is a problem, the advocate continued. The Varantian military collective says the base belongs to them. Commander Thelos abandoned his post many years ago. The collective considers the base to be military property. They are sending ships to take it. They will arrive in 6 days. What should I do? Doyen asked. The council recommends you surrender the base. The Varantian military is very strong. Humans cannot fight them. It is better to give up the base and avoid trouble. The hologram disappeared. Doyen stood alone in the empty room. He thought about his grandmother. She had been a tough woman. She came to the moon when it was dangerous. She worked hard. She never gave up on anything. If his grandfather was like her, maybe there was a reason he left the base to Doyen. Doyen made a decision. He went back to his quarters and packed his tools. His supervisor tried to stop him. You can't go, his supervisor said. The collective will kill you. That base is not worth your life. Maybe not, Doyen said. But it was important to my grandfather. I want to see it before I give it up. He took a small transport rover across the lunar surface. The trip took 8 hours. The moon's far side was dark and empty. No human settlements. No radio signals. Just gray dust and black sky. When he saw Outpost Verantis, he stopped breathing for a moment. The base was beautiful. It had large domes made of something that looked like crystal. The walls curved in smooth lines. It looked alive, like it had been grown instead of built. This was not like human buildings. Human buildings were square and practical. This was Art. Doyen entered through an airlock. The door recognized him immediately. It opened without him touching anything. Inside, the air was fresh. Lights turned on as he walked. The corridors were wide and clean. Everything glowed with soft blue light. He found the command center in the middle of the base. It was a large round room. In the center was a ball of light floating above a crystal column. The ball spoke to him. "Welcome, Doyen. I am the base intelligence. I have been waiting for you." "You speak Korean," Doyen said with surprise. "Commander Thalos programmed me to speak your language. He said his grandson would come one day. He wanted you to feel welcome." Doyen felt something strange in his chest. His grandfather had prepared for this. A man he never met had thought about him. "Can you show me what this base does?" Doyen asked. For the next hours, the intelligence showed him everything. The base was a research station. It studied ways to grow technology like living things. The power systems were not cables and batteries. They were organic conduits that moved energy like blood. The computers were not processors. They were neural clusters that thought and learned. "This is amazing," Doyen whispered. "Why did the collective abandon it?" Commander Thalos disagreed with the military leaders. He believed in cooperation between species. He believed technology should adapt and grow. The collective believed in control and tradition. They argued. Commander Thalos left. He came to Earth. He met your grandmother. He was happy for a time. But he always missed this place. When he knew he was dying, he made sure you would inherit it. Doyen walked through the base, touching the walls. They felt warm. Alive. He thought about what the advocate said. Give up the base. Don't fight. It made sense. He was one man. The collective had armies and warships, but as he walked, he understood something. His grandfather had not given him this base because it was valuable. He gave it to him because it was a message, a challenge. The collective thought everything should be controlled and predictable. His grandfather believed in change and adaptation. By leaving the base to a human, to his grandson, he was saying that the future belonged to people who could adapt, people who could mix different ideas and create something new. Doyen stopped in the command center. He looked at the ball of light. "Can this base defend itself?" he asked. "The defensive systems are offline. They need repairs. With a Varantian engineer, repairs would take 47 hours. With you, I do not know. The systems are very different from human technology." Doyen smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a man who had fixed 1,000 broken machines against impossible odds. "Then we better get started," he said. "I have 6 days to learn alien engineering. Let's see what a human mechanic can do." He opened his toolbox. The tools inside were simple: wrenches, screwdrivers, wire cutters. Nothing fancy. But Doyen had learned a long time ago that the best tool was not the most advanced one. The best tool was the one you knew how to use. The base intelligence watched him work. It did not understand at first. Humans were supposed to be primitive. Their technology was crude. But as Doyen began to explore the systems, the intelligence saw something interesting. Doyen did not try to understand everything. He just tried to make things work. He connected human batteries to alien power systems. He used tape and wire where elegant solutions should go. It was messy. It was wrong by every engineering standard, but it worked. "Interesting," the intelligence said. "You do not follow the correct procedures." "I don't know the correct procedures," Doyen said. "I just know how to fix things." Outside, in the black space above the moon, Varantian ships were already preparing to leave their stations. In 6 days they would arrive. They expected to find an empty base or a scared human. They did not expect to find Doyen. They did not know that sometimes the most dangerous opponent is not the one with the best weapons. It is the one with nothing to lose and a toolbox full of stubborn determination. Doyen worked through the night. The base slowly came to life around him, and somewhere in the cold lunar rock his grandfather's dream began to wake up.